Hello everybody, this is Potato Power MTG, and today I would like to talk about Zell Dincht. I don't know how the fuck you say his name, but everybody's been saying that he sucks shit, that he's gonna be a terrible card. To that I say, today's his fucking birthday, put some respect on his name. So I will show you guys some cards you can put on his deck to actually make him a good commander. Alright, first things first, we gotta know our commander. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. This is pretty fucking good, especially for red, since you don't normally get that basically land advantage on red. He gets +1/+0 for each of the lands you control. This does not fucking matter. And then the second part that will actually benefit the deck that he will be building on will be at the beginning of your end step, return a land you control to its owner's hand. This is good. Even if you run out of lands to play later in the game, you can still bounce one of the lands you have to make a non-drop on another turn. If this card remains on your field, you will guarantee to make land drops every single one of your turns. So you want everything that says landfall on it that's semi-decent. First will be Hellkite. Whenever land enters a battlefield under your control, Akum Hellkite deals one damage to any target. If the land is a mountain, it deals 2 to that permanent or player instead. It's really good, especially I know it's a little bit overcosted for its effect, but it will be a great body to have with him to make landfall every turn. And if you make 2 landfalls every turn, you get multiple landfall trickles. Next up is Geo Rager. Again, it's a little bit overcosted, but you get to goat each creature target player controls for each landfall. This will basically, as long as you're not the last person standing, this will save you from being hit almost every turn. You just gotta target whoever the threat is, or whoever has the most creatures on the board, and you'll be safe from those creatures swinging at you. Again, it's really good since you're, again, guaranteed to make landfall happen every single one of your turns as long as he's on the battlefield. Next up, Nesting Dragon. Again, landfall. You create a 0/2 red dragon egg creature token with Defender. Kind of bad, but when this creature dies, create a 2/2 red dragon token with flying and blah blah. A little bit overcosted, but the only thing that we care of is that we can make this happen over and over again. We will never run out of gas because we will keep getting that land back at the end of our end step. So we can just keep playing lands till the end of time. This one will be one of your finishers. This is each creature gets +1/+0 for each time that it has attacked this turn. Like, that's fine, whatever. And then you get an additional combat whenever land is a battlefield under your control. If it's your main phase, there is an additional combat phase after this phase. At the beginning of that combat, untap all creatures you control. This is gonna be really fucking good to end the game. This is one of your finishers. If you can make 2 land drops, there's 2 more combats that all creatures get untapped as long as you play them on your main phase. So again, really good for him. He does not suck as a lot of people are saying. The Spitfire Lagak. Whenever a land you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent and just more damage. You can make this happen every single turn. Tunnel in Geopet, kind of the same thing. Deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then Valcode Exploration enters a battlefield in your control. Exile, whenever a land enters a battlefield in your control, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. And then at the beginning of your end step, if there are cards exiled with Valcode Exploration, put them on their owner's graveyard. Then Valcode Exploration deals that much damage to each opponent. This is still pretty good. So it's, again, not bad with him. He will make every single one of these landfall triggers happen. Next up, I'm going to show you guys other things you can put on this deck. The next thing that's going to be going on this deck, on the Zell, whatever the fuck deck, will be every single card that can be played it can be either cast as a spell or played as a land. Reason being is because you want to make sure you hit land drops every single turn. So you need as many MDFCs as you can get. So every single MDFC that has red on it doesn't suck, you want to put in this deck. So yes, I know 6 costs for a 4/5 with trample. really fucking bad. However, most of the time, all you're gonna do is just play it as a land at some point where you can afford have a land enter tapped, and then later on the game, hopefully, if you're running out of gas and he's still on your board, you can just bounce his back and just cast a sucky creature, but a creature. It will still make bodies come into the battlefield for you. Next up, Kazul's Fury. As an initial cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. That's fine. We'll have creatures on the field at some point. And then deals damage equal to the sacrifice creature's power to any target. Again, same deal. It enters the battlefield. You can play it as a land. Later in the game, when you need it, bounce the land back into your hand. You can cast the spell. Every single one of these cards that it can be played as a land and then bounce back to your hand and then play as a spell. It will be really good. Pinnacle Monk, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Again, you can play as a land, bounce it back to your hand, play the spell. Every single card that has this ability, you should be throwing on this deck. Even if it's not that great, it will still be useful later on the game. Shadow Skull Smashing deals X damage divided to choose among up to 2 target creatures, blah, 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 blah. Again, really good, especially because you will have the mana, because he will allow you to play 2 lands every turn. And we want land drops this entire game. Summon Treachery, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap the creature, it can haste until the end of turn. We will make landfall, land drops every single turn. And the cool stuff with this is that you can cast this spell, and then you can immediately just chuck it back at the person that you took it from with Kazul's Fury. So, well, you will get control of the creature, and then immediately sacrifice it, throw it at the guy. Pretty easy there. Spikefield Hazard deals 1 damage to any target. If a permanent dealt damage this turn will die. Will die this turn, exile instead. Again, the only thing that we care about is that you can play the land, and then later on cast the spell. You don't have to kill anything with 1 damage. If something is dying and you're just gonna be a prick and exile instead, you can just deal 1 damage to it, and then when it dies, it will be exiled instead. Sundering Eruption, actually really good card. Just blow up a basic land from someone else, and then you prevent creatures without flying from blocking. This can be a finisher on this deck. We have, again, the option of casting the spell or playing the land. This is every single one of the lands that have that can be used in this deck. And Valakut Awakening, put any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your library, draw a mini card +1. Same idea. This you will want to cast this spell at some point, but until then, just play the land. Later on, you will bounce it back to your hand and get the spell. All right, and then next up we have more lands that we can play on this deck. All right, these are the lands that you actually want to play, and they're only lands, but the utility of them is amazing. War on Mono Red. You're gonna play something like at least 20 mountains. You will have mountains, and the Arena of Glory. Arena of Glory is a battlefield tapped unless you control a mountain. More than likely, you're gonna control a mountain. And the cool part about this is that you can tap it for red, or red, tap it, exert it, which the text for exert is right there. Add 2 red. If this mana is spent to cast a creature, it can haste it in the end of turn. So with exerted, it will remain tapped on your next untap step, but on your next untap phase. But with him, you can just bounce it back to your hand after you have exerted, get into red to give haste to up to 2 creatures, and then you can just play it next turn and it will not be exerted. This is an amazing land, and on his deck it will be even more broken. You will be able to give 2 creatures haste every single one of your turns. If you just have to pay the red, exert this, get the 2 red, give another creature haste, or give 2 casted creatures haste, and just rinse and repeat. You can give haste till the end of time as long as he remains in the field. Diamond City enters the battlefield with a shield counter on it. Tap for colorless. We don't care. We're going to have plenty of red lands. Lands that produce red. Move a shield counter from Diamond City onto a target creature. Activate only if 2 more creatures enter the battlefield under your control this turn. That's fine. We will be able to make this work at some point. But the most important part is that you're going to be able to move shield counters onto him, bounce this back, play the next turn, get 2 more shield counters on it, and as long as you can make those 2 creatures enter the battlefield, you're gonna be able to just keep giving other stuff those shield counters. This will never run out of shield counters because all you gotta do is return it to your hand at the end of your turn, and then just bring it back to your hand, and then bring it back and play it into the field again. Driven Mine enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more other mountains. At some point, you're going to control 3 or more mountains. And there's a battlefield untapped. When it enters the battlefield untapped, create a 1/1 red dwarf creature. Again, you're going to have mountains. You're going to play this. You're going to bounce back into your hand. Next turn, you're going to play it again. You're going to be able to make bodies enter the battlefield every turn with these for free with your commander out. Again, he's not as bad as people are making it seem. Field of the Dead. This is a broken card as it is. But enters the battlefield tapped, blah blah, or another land. Whenever Field of the Dead or another land enters the battlefield in your control, if you control 7 or more lands with different names, which yes, we're gonna have a lot of mountains, but we're also gonna have a lot of other lands with a lot of other utilities. If you control 7 or more other lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. You're going to be able to make 2 2/2 black zombie creature tokens with him as your commander on the late game. It's expensive, yes I know, but it can work well with this. But Field of the Dead works well with almost any deck. I'm just saying, it can be used very, very good with him. Next up is Field League Council Chamber, and there's a battlefield. Surveil 1, it makes colorless mana. We do not care. All we care about is that every time that we need to manipulate the top of our library, we can just bounce this back in our end step, play it back, it does not enter tapped, and we get to Surveil 1. So every turn, Surveil 1 on your turn is pretty good. And we're going to play every land that does this. Again, Hidden Grotto, when he enters the battlefield, Surveil 1 at colorless. We don't care. We will make the red mana somewhere else. But it will allow us to manipulate the top of our library or put stuff in our graveyard if needed to. The Great Heavens enters the battlefield, Scry 1, manipulate the top of the library. Saffron Void enters the battlefield, Scry 1, manipulate the top of the library. And the thing that makes this card good will be Talon Gates of Madara. This card is fucking amazing on this deck as this guy being the commander, because you can make this as your second land drop. When it enters the battlefield, up to 1 target creature faces out. You can face out your commander, he will be gone. You do not need to return another land you control to your hand. So this is effectively actually permanently ramping you, because at the beginning of your upkeep, it will face back in. And when it faces back in, you can still play that additional land this turn. And the thing that you can bounce back to your hand will be Talon Gates of Madara. And then the next turn, you can play a land, play Talon Gates of Madara, target him, he's gone. You do not have to return a land to your hand if you don't want to. Like this with him, it will be it makes a really, really interesting combination of trigger ability on lands. Oh, and if you wanna be able to rely on this card. Oh, fuck. Yeah, and then another land you can throw, so you can find the lands that you want to actually bounce up and down in your deck. Will be Urza's Cave, 3 tapes, just so that you can find any good land that you need from your deck. You will not be bouncing this back to your hand or anything. You just want this to be able to search your library for other lands. So my case is, he is not terrible. He can be a very interesting, fun, and new commander that you can play. So yeah, don't show him. Today's his birthday. All right, relax. He is good. You just have to build a deck around him and have in mind what he actually does as a commander. He can be well utilized. Thank you very much and have a good day.